You know, yesterday I did a video whenever we got the teasers from the reveals and stuff stream on the new LF Dragon Fist Super Saiyan 3 Goku alongside the new Tapion, who actually has a defeated mechanic for Hirudegarn to pop up. And I had my reaction. I was like, you know, Goku seems like an easy top 5 character in the game. They didn't even tell us everything he could do, and I'm like, okay, no, he's just no. He's got some of the things from all the best kits in the game. Like he's really good, man. So we're gonna cover that. Also, Tapion in that video, I was like, man, Tapion seems a little kind of underwhelming. I didn't say exactly that, but basically that was the point. And I was like, wait a minute, hold on, let me not say that, because for whatever reason in these little reveals, they don't actually show you what the arts cards do. They just show you the uniques, and that's it. Like, dude, Toshi, if you're listening, we need to see what the arts cards do. I know we'll find out later that day, but what's the point of just showing us the unique abilities? At least put a slide for the arts cards, because that's so much of what the characters do. So there also is a new EX Cooler and a new EX Turles as well, which I guess, whatever. But let me know your thoughts on these characters. Did you summon? If you summoned, what your results were, and how have you guys been feeling about them and using them in PvP or versus them in PvP? What rank are you guys seeing them in? Things like that with teams, etc. I'm really interested because I do think they're both incredibly good. We're going to cover them now. Today's video like goal is going to be 1,000. If you guys enjoy the content, please be sure to help us set our like goal as well. And here we go. So we're going to start off by taking a look at the kit for the character. He's got the stats that are completely maxed out. These are the tags for him, as well as movies. He also has a damage increasing blast and strike card that he's putting into your deck. So very useful. Obviously, any character that picks those up will get the bonuses. No bonuses on his cards otherwise, though. The blue card here, massive impact damage. It has blast armor when dashing forward, and also does plus 20% special move damage for 10 counts upon activation. Not only that, it also cleanses the character of downgrades and abnormal conditions on hit, by the way. So you get the buff on activation, you get the cleansing on hit. And you'll notice this trend throughout his kit, because he has a unique gauge that's definitely unique, pun intended, in the way that it functions. And what I mean by that is it fills via, well, there's a couple of ways it fills, but mainly by using arts cards. And whenever it's filled, he has several things that happen. On his arts cards down here, they all have this line that adds parts to their kit, basically. And then I believe on his main, too. So for this blue card, if the gauge is full, he does no switching on the activation of the blue card. Crazy, 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 crazy. It turns this from a very powerful dash forward, blast armor, you know, very powerful blue card, because just outside of that last line, this is still an extremely good blue card. It turns it into a sniper as well. So, like, this is crazy good. Crazy powerful. So the green here draws a strike card next, restores 40 ki. That's a lot of ki. That's actually just coincidentally enough to offset the cost of the green and then follow up with the strike card under normal means, 20 and 20. So there's that. Oh, well, I guess 19 because it's the soul boosting, but you get the point. Other than that, though, when the gauge is full, it will also restore health by 10%. This guy has a lot of health restoration, so giving him health restoration equips, there's a few of them that he can use, I believe, but giving him those would be insanely good for him, just as a FYI. So deal supreme impact with the Dragon Fist, applies the following effects itself upon activation, plus 40% damage and 100% enemy sustained damage cut effect, and then also nullifies endurance. But that's not all. It has blast armor, and when he is able to have the gauge full, it has the ability to nullify element factor, so it can allow him to go neutral. So if he is in a position where the gauge is full, it does all of that plus going neutral, man. Insane. He's got literally everything in his kit already, from what you can see for the most part. Pretty much everything was already present. That's relevant anyway. So here's the main. A lot here. Destroys one of your cards and forces the ultimate into your hand. Restores a lot of health, like I said, 30%, and then ki by 50. Gets a 30% damage buff for 30 counts. Gets a draw speed bonus there. I believe he already has a draw speed bonus in his unique abilities. By the way, in the little teasers, they don't even show us the main abilities, do they? There's so much kit that's missing from those little teasers. Oh my goodness. The following effects occur if this character's gauge is full. He restores his gauge by 100%. Hello, LF Frieza and some of the other characters that do that. It's incredibly good, but that's not all. He also reduces the This is getting out of hand. This mechanic is getting out of hand. It's extremely powerful. It's one of those mechanics that has literally no counterplay. It is getting out of hand. I hope that they don't start putting this on more characters. There are other characters that have it, like 18, but she's not even the first one. There are a bunch of characters that had it, but please stop putting it on the best of the best, because it's extremely crippling to play against. The Z ability is incredibly good. I'm not going to go over it, but incredibly good if you want to pause it. So plus 90% damage, 60% cut, 1 draw speed level. Like I said, the main gives him +2. Man, that's really powerful. Strike arts cost down naturally. All these are non-cancelable. Also applies the following effects itself when he enters the battlefield. He gets ki, he gets damage. He has the, I believe Jiren has this, but a lot of characters have this, this is the best mechanic in the game in my opinion, but a lot of characters have it, but not a lot of them have it built into the passive here this way. Very similar to SS Blue Gogeta most notably, where he is able to nullify cover actions on entry of the battlefield. So you don't have to pop your main, you don't have to use an arts card, like it's just on entry, okay? Incredibly powerful. However, I will say this is extremely powerful, but I think I like the main ability variant of it more, where it's, you know, just do it on the main ability on your activation, or like an arts card. Some people have it on like their green, like Ultra Gogeta. I think I like those better because there's control to it. This, let me tell you the dirty secret about this type of version of it. It's extremely good nonetheless, but you could get in a position, if you're not smart, you could use this up and never really technically use it, right? Because it just automatically activates. Charges own unique gauge by 100% when the character uses a strike or blast arts. If there are 2 defeated battle members, activates once. So he gets a full gauge if you use a single card. You don't have to land it, so that's good, I guess. But you do have to use a strike or blast. So we saw all the things that happen, by the way, when his gauge is full if he's using stuff. So yeah. Knocks enemy back to long range versus strike arts. Special move is comboable. So like I said, the null covers is the best mechanic in the game, and the reason why is because every character has a knockback, dude. Seriously. Every character gets a knock. It's a staple. It used to be a nice perk. Now it's actually a staple, okay? It's a staple. You see this happen with other mechanics, like Nullify Endurance was once upon a time a nice perk. Now it's largely a staple on pretty much every character in some way. Like, they create the problem to give you a solution. However, they're going overboard. Stop! Because the problem with this is it's good because, like I said, it's a staple and it's always nice to have, but it's increasing the need for the null actions, right? To the point where characters that don't have the null action feel underwhelming in relation to characters that do have the null action. They're not understanding how this works. Or maybe they are, and that's what they want. Applies the following effects itself every time this character uses a strike or blast. He restores ki, restores health, gets damage, and then stacks his ultimate damage, similar to SS Blue Gogeta again. So like I said, he restores a lot of health, a lot of ki too, but a lot of health. So slightly charges own unique gauge every time this character uses a strike or blast while his character's on the field. Applies the following effects itself once the gauge is full. So yeah, he also gets actual things that happen whenever the gauge is full, and they're all listed here, but they're all the same stuff we already covered, which on top of that is the only thing that's new here technically is the health. Again, a lot of health. This dude is always healing all the time, so easy Z tier character in my opinion. Let's cover Tapion. So initially, I was super skeptical if I would ever use this guy over the dead Goku because they offer some of the same things, but I from what I could read yesterday, it seemed like dead Goku would be better. Boy, oh boy. So this guy has a ceiling strike. He puts 2 of them in your deck. Crazy, crazy. He has powerful opponent because it feels big bad, you know, or big sad, excuse me, to have the hero Tapion be not a hero. But you get the point. Anyways, 30% heavy bleed on hit with a strike. The blue card here, massive damage here. It's a long range one, not a dash in, so that's good. Massive slash damage, plus 30% to special move damage inflicted on activation. Cannot be nullified by most other special moves. Okay, so that means it's going to win versus all other moves that don't have that same exact text, for the record. That type of text is typically on your big finishing moves, like your final Kamehamehas and things like that. So it's not very common, is the point. Green card here. Restores own ki by 20%, changes blasts into strikes. That's incredible. It's incredible that there's not going to be a logjam of blast cards on a team that ideally has this guy in Goku, because this guy can fix that. Plus 30% to next special move damage inflicted, up to 90%. So he has a stacking 30% mechanic there. Increases draw speed by 2 levels for 5 counts. 5 counts is not really anything. You're not really going to do a ton with that unless you have, and you do have, nullify cover actions for 5 counts. His green is disgusting. Like I said, the game is at a point where I don't care how many cards you draw. If I have to drop combo fine, I'll do it. But if you don't have null covers, you're not using any cards because everybody has covers. So yeah, so 5 counts, like I was gonna say, isn't very long. But you know what 5 counts is long enough for? It's very similar to the new Gogeta that came out. If you just do a full screen sidestep and not do the dash in sidestep that we do 99.9% of the time, if you do a full screen one, especially on a strike, which you're gonna have, you'll get a few cards. It's way more efficient if you do that, and they won't be able to stop it. So that's a dirty little secret for Tapion. Way more efficient. Draws a green card on main ability, okay? Restores allies' health by 25% and ki by 30. God, this Goku's gonna be healing so much. So much healing. Goodness gracious. Plus 25% to strike damage inflicted by allies for 50 counts. Very good, but it is cancelable. Seals enemies' blasts for 5 counts. Very powerful card. So, deals major explode damage to the enemy when this character is defeated if there is a remaining battle member. So this is a new mechanic. I think it was called like final damage or something. I don't know what it is, but it's a defeated mechanic that damages the enemy. So, very good. In addition, the damage inflicted will also be dealt to enemies on standby. The damage from this attack cannot cause the enemy or enemy members on standby to be defeated. This will not win you the game. It will not draw the match. They will have at least 1 HP. Okay, that's the point. If this character is defeated by self-destruct, it won't activate. It doesn't activate in co-op or full power battle. The following effects occur when this character enters the battlefield. He gets damage cut, and randomly destroys 1 card. The random destroy of a card is very good for defensive purposes on this character. You could throw him into a combo. He'll neuter the combo. Also, if their combo ends, like if they try to drop combo, I guess, while he's out there for some reason. I don't know why, but it's kind of tweaky. But normally, if their combo ends naturally, they do get a debuff of draw speed, damage received. They also get their strikes sealed for 2 counts. And also, he has this last little line in here: shortens sub count by 10 when the enemy activates a rising rush. This would be a lot better. It would actually be broken. I'm gonna be honest; it would be broken if he had endurance. But this character, like, if he had endurance, he'd be, honestly, if I'm not gonna lie to you, if he had endurance from what we've seen so far, he'd easily be like top 3 in the game. Serious. I think he's probably top 10 for the record. I have to sit down and think about it. But like, he'd be top 3. Easy. But that's a crazy good mechanic nonetheless. The thing is that with this team, their best third is going to be Ultra Gogeta, right? But the thing is, like, with him and Ultra Gogeta, they will be able to dictate when you can use your Rising Rush. That's the point. Not really when, but who you can use it on, right? They'll be able to dictate that. And let's read the last little part of this guy's kit. The following effects occur when he switches to standby. He draws a card for your allies. Very good, not very common to see that on a support character. And plus 25% of damage inflicted by allies as well. Applies the following effects itself every time this character uses an arts card. Plus 10 ki, plus 20% damage. The following effects occur upon landing a strike. He seals the enemy's special moves and special arts. Okay, so he seals everything, okay? He's going to seal your blues, your greens, your reds, your yellows. He's going to seal everything. The sealed arts can't be used for 5 counts. Inflicts enemies with a health restoration debuff. That's actually extremely good for the mirror match. Like, if he combos, like, man, that's going to be needed. For 20 counts is a very long time. 20% for 20 counts is a very long time. Very good for the, it's needed for the mirror match, probably. So, the only thing he really doesn't do is offer a defeated buff. He does the defeated damage, which is obviously extremely good, but the defeated buff would have been a little better. I talk about endurance, but I think really that's what he probably needs, because there's no incentive to actually throw him into a rush outside of proccing that effect. But the thing about on the ideal trio of him and Gogeta, you know what starts happening is or him and Gogeta and Goku, excuse me. What starts happening is Goku gets closer to being a last man, which he's designed to function well in that scenario with the gauge. But also Ultra Gogeta starts doing the stupid stuff of neutrality and locking. So like, and like also like Ultra Gogeta he fits perfectly with Tapion, what the support Tapion provides and the strikes, and like they fit perfectly together. Then the blue card energy, or the blue card funneling from Gogeta to Tapion potentially, or to whoever you want. Like, the synergy is crazy with these 3 characters. The new Goku, Tapion, and Gogeta explicitly. There are other movie characters you can use, but that is by far the best trio to use in my opinion. So these characters are crazy good. I'm going to quickly run down the EXs because there's not a ton to talk about. So Cooler here has Blast Armor. He also does have the Nullify Other Moves cards effect like I talked about earlier, one of these big bad attacks. His green restores ki by 30 and minus special move cost up to a 20 count as well. That is cancelable, I guess, so keep that in mind. I'm guessing I don't really know how that functions on lowering of arts cards. But anyways, plus 100% to the next strike arts damage inflicted. It sucks he doesn't draw a strike here, but he does draw a blue card here, gets draw speed, gets ki, gets a special move damage increase as well here. So a lot kind of going on for Cooler overall. We're going to take a look at the uniques. Plus damage here, 70%, 50%, reduces damage received by from Saiyans, excuse me. Additional 30% of damage inflicted if there is a Saiyan enemy battle member. This is really powerful, cannot be canceled. So if there's a Saiyan enemy battle member, it doesn't matter if he's hitting a Saiyan explicitly like an anti-Saiyan tag would function, but this one works no matter what, as long as that criteria is met. And then also when he enters the battlefield, he gets ki, strike arts cost down, plus 50% of next strike damage inflicted, can't be canceled, and then he has a regeneration effect. Where is he getting the strikes? The following effects occur upon landing a strike. Reduces ki. He gets a 100% chance to inflict bleed, okay? Inflicts enemy with a downgrade plus 15% to damage received. Applies the following effects himself every time this character evades an attack. When he evades an attack, he gets 2 70% gauge fills, health, and a draw speed bonus. So he has draw speed, what, in 2 spots? Yeah, 2 spots of draw speed for 30 counts there, 15 counts here. The 15 counts is on evasion. It's not time restricted, so like he can do it more than once or twice. Very powerful. So if he had a way to get strikes naturally, he'd be fine. He has his strikes have all the perks that happen and then the blast armor. But I guess the way that they're expecting you to get strikes is with Tapion. So this guy seems pretty good. Actually kind of seems like a watered down but a little bit more modern version of some of the coolers we've previously had, because obviously he has a more modern version. But the same exact idea in terms of building him and the philosophy for him. Which, for the record, I don't really mind that. If you look at the Vegetas and some of the characters in the game currently, they do have philosophies for how to build that character, which is cool. So Turles is definitely the weakest of the bunch, but he does have some interesting things in his kit. Blue card's kind of whatever, major impact, and then also does a downgrade of damage. His green restores his health and his allies' health. The ally health is only 5%, so it's very low. It's not going to be something you really rely on a ton, but there's going to be a lot of healing because, again, it's not turn restricted, and you can use it as many times as you want. Plus 30% damage, can't be stacked for 20 counts. Sucks it can't be stacked because he's not getting a ton of greens like the other Turles that we have, and then the purple one explicitly. And then also plus 20% damage cut for the next combo. He restores health here, draws a green, and gets ki and destroys all of your enemy's cards. Would be nice if you got a little of a damage buff here or something else, but the hand destroy is very powerful. You could also turn that into being aggressive, maybe with a tackle or whatever, but very powerful effects here to pick up the green. But nonetheless, though, let's move on to the next. So 60% damage, 50% cut, and then ki recovery added. Applies the following effects all enemies when the enemy enters the battlefield, or when this character, excuse me, enters the battlefield. So if he like enters naturally or covers in, these things are going to pop off. They get a damage received debuff, a health restoration debuff, and a draw speed debuff. So the draw speed one in particular is really good. He has 50% cut. That comboed with the draw speed debuff is very powerful as a defensive backbone. Does he reduce ki? Let's see. Plus 30% damage inflicted against Saiyans. Oh, he's got the anti-Saiyan mechanic. I literally just talked about how this is worse than the version that Cooler has by a good margin. But nonetheless, though, it's still pretty solid to have in general. So when the character lands a strike or blast card, he gets damage, he gets special move damage, and reduces enemies' ki. And then also 10% chance to reduce enemies' Dragon Balls. So there's no restrictions on the Dragon Ball reduction, but it's only a 10% chance. I don't know the number on LF Rosé, but I feel like it's a similar number. If you get it, great. If you don't, which you're probably not, then, you know, obviously it sucks to be you. So when he changes cover, he reduces ki. There it is. Okay. So reduces ki and draws a green card there. The green card's irrelevant, but not really, but you get the point. So the ki reduction, the damage cut, the draw speed debuff is his defensive toolkit. And then after the combo hopefully ends, he can get rid of their hand at a moment's notice. He can heal a lot, but not a ton here, not a ton of damage. I mean, he does get the stacking damage, which is why his damage actual number is kind of low at 60. He does get the stacking damage, but he has a defense type through and through. The ki reduction here, 15, is irrelevant for 99% of the characters because they're going to heal that right back by the time you use your next arts card. So I don't know why they even throw it in at a low number. It needs to be a high number for it to even matter. Or do an arts card debuff, like who does that? Like the new Golden Freeze, I believe, does that. His is crazy, man. So yeah, this guy's definitely the worst of the bunch, but overall a solid batch of characters, which coincidentally, if you were to take this banner and the part 1 banner and put them out together, that almost is the same amount of characters that we typically have for anniversary. They're still missing 2 Sparkings, I believe, in total. But such a dry anniversaries for characters in general. Not many came out. So yeah, we're gonna have to do a retrospective and in hindsight, you know, viewing of this anniversary soon. Maybe there'll be a 3rd anniversary banner. I don't know. Hope you all enjoyed. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see all of you guys next time.